What's up, everyone? Chris here from MTR Network, and 1 billion. Black Panther has finally crossed 1 billion, and it is it's truly amazing. It's when I did earlier this year, we were talking about I was doing a little article on how much money Disney could make this year in films, and I went conservative and was like maybe 950, 900, because I always knew it could do 1 billion, but it's before reviews. You didn't know how I was gonna do overseas, and so I went conservative, and it's blown right past that. 4 weeks, $1 billion. We still got a few more weeks of it being in theaters. So where's it going to stop at? I have no idea where it's going to stop at. It could easily do $1.5 billion, and it's going to be truly amazing. I said this in another video. What I'm really hoping doesn't happen is I'm really hoping other studios don't fuck this up by rushing, by not putting the care that Marvel Studios put into making Black Panther. I think this should smash the myth. Finally smash the myth, because we know that it's always been a myth that black films couldn't sell. But I'm really hoping that this is the final death knell of this, and that we no longer hear this idea that black films can't sell overseas, black films can't sell domestically. We know that it is, and to all you fuckers out there trying to tell me that Black Panther isn't a black film, go fuck yourself. It is a black film, period. It is. It is. I'm sorry. But no, I'm really glad that it's made this money. I'm just, like I said, I'm hoping that other studios don't try to copycat it but not get the care that Marvel did. Marvel followed Ryan Coogler's vision with this film, and they have full confidence of him in this. I mean, they put their full confidence behind him with this film, and that's what it takes to make a black film succeed in this environment. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think a lot of studios are gonna get that aspect. I think they're gonna shortchange it, which is something we've seen with cinematic universes. But I'm gonna save that whole spiel for another video. But yeah, 4 weeks in, this week it beat, actually won its fourth weekend at #1, beating Wrinkle in Time. And real quick, I saw a lot of people trying to think that it was like a conspiracy, that they're putting the two black films against each other, and they're trying to say that A Wrinkle in Time didn't beat Black Panther. I get that, and I do feel that there's another case of outlets of these trades not understanding that the significance of both of these films. And I think they should have led with the idea that these are the first time in history that two black films with budgets over $100 million became in 1 and 2 at the box office. But I also don't think it was some racist conspiracy that they did this. I think it was just the fact that the reason why they didn't do it the last 2 weeks is because none of the films that were coming out had a chance of beating Black Panther. I mean, it was Annihilation, Red Sparrow, and Death Wish. None of those fucking films had a chance. There's a reason why those films came out at that time, because and no other films did, because nobody wanted to have any piece of Black Panther, because they knew nobody wants a piece of any Marvel film, because you're gonna have a fucking problem. Even if you win a weekend, the Marvel film's gonna have legs, and that's gonna have a problem. So I really think it just came down to A Wrinkle in Time was the only film coming out 3 weeks or 4 weeks after Black Panther did that had a tracking number that was going to be anywhere close to beating it. On any other film, even any other Marvel film, A Wrinkle in Time wins last weekend. A Wrinkle in Time beat its tracking number. I think its tracking was at 35 million. I think it actually got a Black Panther boost in the fact that a lot of black audiences wanted to go out and support Ava and A Wrinkle in Time. And so it actually beat its estimate to I think 39, maybe $40 million. It just wasn't enough to beat Black Panther, which it's not a slight against A Wrinkle in Time. Black Panther is just a phenom right now in the terms that it made $41 million its fourth weekend out. And so I don't think that I think trades were a little tone deaf in it, but I don't think they did it on purpose. I think if A Wrinkle in Time had switched spots with Tomb Raider, they would have been remarking how Tomb Raider didn't stand a chance against Black Panther either. I think that's just the nature of what was coming out this week. I do think this week, though, will be very interesting because I think Tomb Raider's tracking was at $28 million. You still have Black Panther in theaters going strong. And then you have A Wrinkle in Time, which, while it didn't get really good critic reviews, I do think I've been seeing a lot more, particularly from black audiences. I think that the response to that film is a little bit higher. So you're looking at pretty much a three-way race this week coming up between who's going to get number one. And it could be Black Panther for a fifth week, and that's like a long shot. But you could see A Wrinkle in Time, while it didn't win last weekend, it could come back and win this weekend at number one, depending on what those Tomb Raider reviews are. And we'll know Wednesday. The embargo for Tomb Raider is up Wednesday at 5 p.m. So I'll have the review on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and get notified for that. But anyway, what I want to kind of do with this video and talking about not just the amazing fact that Black Panther made $1 billion fucking dollars, and it's just, I'm never gonna get over that shit. That's just wow, that's amazing. But on top of that is, you know, I want to talk about just the future of the MCU with Black Panther now, because Kevin Feige come out and, like it was any doubt, Black Panther's gonna get a sequel. He's already said that, you know, when he was talking, before he confirmed it, that if they did a sequel, they would definitely want Ryan Coogler back. But in this interview, he talked about how, you know, he would even like to see it in Okoye have her own like spinoff. That intrigues him. We definitely know Shuri's going to have a bigger role in the MCU. Black Panther's going to be basically the centerpiece going forward in the MCU, and they're going to be using that space a lot there. I think it opens up a lot of possibilities for what they could do for the future, and storylines they could do. I think that, like, I think it was our mailbag. I was talking to Deepam. We were talking about this, and we were kind of talking about how it's interesting seeing how Marvel is kind of replacing their phase 1 through, I guess, 3, like, staples that they've had in Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk. Well, I think Hulk might stick around, and Thor too a little bit. They've kind of been replacing them in that you have Spider-Man now is kind of taking the Thor role, where Thor was kind of like watching a young man grow into being a man. He's now a king now. He went from being this prince who didn't know anything to now he's literally leading his people. You have Captain America, who is the time-displaced captain. We're getting Captain Marvel, which is set in the 90s, and we know she's going to eventually come to the regular time. So you have that there. And then you have Iron Man, led by Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. to led it all. You're going to have him kind of almost replaced with T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa, Black Panther, with all the technology and things like that. Now, I think that there's going to be a little bit switching between the characters. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's kind of how they've now kind of given us a new core of characters that we can follow and lead us through the next few phases without having, I mean, they've quietly switched them on us that we don't have to rely on, you know, the big three that we did before. So I think that opens up a lot of like interesting things going forward for the MCU as far as storylines, particularly for Black Panther 2 and the MCU as a whole. Now, I will say there are 2 storylines I've kind of seen people bring up that I don't want them to do. And I'll talk about this real quick. The first one is, I've seen a lot of people say that they want Nakia to become Malice. The fuck's wrong with you guys? Like what the fuck is that? So let me get this straight. Ryan Coogler came in, fixed Nakia and Okoye, and from their original pieces where they were originally, both of them were Dora Milaje, but they were 16-year-old girls. Like, they're very problematic. Nakia's was really super problematic because she ends up T'Challa ends up kissing her at one point in the back of his car after he's been tricked by Mephisto, and she tries to kill Monica Lynn, becomes a bad guy, becomes a villain. It's like, it's really bad. It's not good. So wanting Nakia, who has became a really good character, you have Lupita here, wanting her to become Malice, stop. That's terrible, guys. That character was never good, and to have her become that character now that they fixed her is just, it's a really stupid idea. So that's number 1. Number 2, it should be no shock because I always bring this up every time I do a Black Panther thing. No, Storm, this should not be in Black Panther 2. No, I think every Black Panther video I've done on here, I've railed against this idea of why it's a bad idea. So I'll just say this, I don't believe that one, the X-Men and mutants, even if the deal goes through with Fox, I don't believe that they'll be in the next. I don't think Marvel Studios is going to shoehorn those characters in at any point. I think they're going to take their time. I have a whole idea that I'll go into another video about how they should add what Marvel Studios should do with the X-Men, and that includes all the mutants once they get a hold of them. I just don't think that the plan that Marvel will come up with will be ready by the time Black Panther 2 is there, and not to mention just Storm T'Challa, and that should not happen. No, it just shouldn't. So what do I think should be some good storylines? Well, first, and I think this is a good one just for the next phase of Marvel, the next big phase is, we know that Captain Marvel is introducing the Skrulls. So a really good thing for a whole phase could be the whole secret invasion of finding out that Skrulls have infiltrated Earth and have replaced some of the people we've known. I think that would be a really cool idea, and that kind of I really came up with thought about the secret invasion because if you've been following Black Panther comics, Jason Aaron did a really fantastic secret invasion tie-in with Black Panther, so you could always do that in there. I think another aspect that they could do for this, and another thing they could bring in is to kind of, I don't know, so I was talking about how, you know, they replace, like they're gonna be replacing some of the old characters like Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, things like that. While I definitely think that you have, in technology wise, you compare Iron Man and Black Panther, I tend to think that in more respects that T'Challa is more closer to, at least in tone, what they've done with the Captain America movies. If you think about it, the Captain America movies are really political thrillers. Maybe not the first one so much, but kind of in a way because it's kind of propaganda almost. But they're kind of political thrillers, and that's kind of what Black Panther itself was as well. They're more serious. They do have some funny moments, but they're more serious, more political thrillers. And honestly, when you read Black Panther comics, like all of them, they're all involve politics. Like that's just what it is. So I think anything you do in Black Panther 2 will revolve around politics. And if you think about the Christopher Priest run, and they've done a lot of stuff. They took a lot of stuff from the Black Panther movie from Ta-Nehisi Coates' run. Like it's all about politics. And so when you think about the idea of where Wakanda is at the end of this, the first movie is they've opened themselves up to the world. You can think of that there will be some people in Wakanda that aren't exactly happy with the idea of making themselves open to the rest of the world, and you could see some internal strife. You could see outside parties kind of trying to infiltrate and influence these parties. What happened in the first run of Coach's run, Nation Under Our Feet. That's in there. In the Priest run, that first half of that run is all about, you know, an outsider coming in and trying to usurp the throne, just like what happened with Killmonger. It's all there. That's all of what Black Panther comics are. And then when you add in the first thing I talk about with Secret Invasion, you can make that outside party Skrulls, because why? They view Wakanda as probably the most technologically advanced nation at the advance, and probably the most the one nation that will give them the most problems. So they probably want to try to be that outside force to kind of usurp T'Challa's rule. You can see that, so they can do that. Another thing I think they can do for a storyline here is, and I just really love this stuff, Al Ewing's Ultimates run. In that, and they're kind of taking some elements from this, in that you see T'Challa helps form a group to help take care of the world's problems. And it's kind of similar to what he's already done in the first Black Panther, with having Shuri be the science outreach and Nakia be the social outreach person. This will be kind of formulating with the other heroes of Earth to do this. In a way, you can see that the Ultimates could actually replace the Avengers. I actually have some ideas about that. Like, even if you don't use that idea necessarily for Black Panther, it could actually be a really cool idea just in general to get rid of Avengers movies and make Ultimates movies. Like in the comics, the Ultimates are Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, T'Challa, Black Panther, Blue Marvel, American Chavez, and then Monica Rambeau, Spectrum. You could technically take out Blue Marvel, take out T'Challa, replace them with Shuri, and then maybe Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie, to give you that cosmic element. All of a sudden, what do you have? You have your all-female Avengers movie that Tessa Thompson's kind of been pitching to do. So I think those three things, while I kind of, they're not all for Black Panther 2, I think that's kind of, especially if you center Wakanda and you're centering Black Panther in the universe, I think this really opens up everything to do going forward. Just kind of like how, in the first three phases, it's pretty much everything's kind of centered around first Iron Man and then Iron Man and Captain America. Here, you could kind of center everything around Captain Marvel and T'Challa and go from there, kind of leading into Ultimate stuff. I think it'd be pretty kind of cool. So that's my opinion on that. There are two other things I think that aren't really storylines, but I would love to see. One, they're kind of related. I kind of would love to see at some point added in with the whole Wakanda thing, Doctor Doom and Namor. Now, Doctor Doom is, I don't want to see him as the main villain or anything like that, but even just like mentioning Latveria and Doom and stuff like that, I definitely think that adding, if the deal goes through, adding the Fantastic Four is way easier to the MCU than adding the X-Men. And so I would love to see that interaction of Doom, T'Challa, but even more so with Namor, who I believe they got the rights back, but I believe it's a similar thing as the Hulk, where they can't do a solo movie. And in this case, you don't need a solo movie. Just put him in or add him into some other people's movies. And I actually don't want to see Namor as like an adversary of Wakanda, not at first. I actually like the idea of them. I mean, personally, I'm a huge fan of just seeing the Kings of Marvel interact. So Black Bolt, I'm saying that the Inhumans movie, the Inhumans TV show didn't fucking happen. Fuck that. Bring in Black Bolt, not the Black Bolt from the TV show. Bring in another Black Bolt and pretend that TV show didn't happen. Black Bolt, Doctor Doom, Namor, and then T'Challa. I would love to see something revolving around them. I mean, you could do the Illuminati. You could. So that's there as well. You have most of the characters. And I don't think you need to technically have Charles Xavier in there either Beast. You can just remove the mutants and just do an Avengers MCU Illuminati. So you could do that as well. So, but yeah. So that's some of my ideas for storylines for Black Panther 2 and just kind of going forward with the MCU in general. Leave me a comment on this video. Let me know what you guys think. What some of your ideas are for going forward with the MCU, Black Panther, and what you would like to see. I definitely like to see that. And seriously, if any of you guys sit there go, Shuri should be Riri, I am going to delete you. I'm going to block you from the channel. Fuck you. Don't do that either. That is a terrible idea. Shuri and Riri can be two separate characters. They should be two separate characters because they are two separate characters. Please don't do that. Don't be that guy. All right. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Again, we'll be back on Wednesday with Tomb Raider review, and then Friday, Shanna from the Internet Network has an unboxing video that hopefully I'll be able to edit and have up by Friday. So yeah, I'm going to try to do more of these, face-to-face videos. I'm still going to put up some of the podcast episodes, the ones that get really popular. Some of the other ones I'm going to stop putting up because you guys don't watch them as much or listen to them as much. But I'm going to do more of these videos on here because you guys seem to like my face. So I'm going to do more of those. So anyway, guys, thank you very much. And if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the notify button. And like I said, we have a podcast. Go look for MTR Network. You'll be on iTunes. You'll find all of our shows, The Character Corner, Super Tuesday Recap, Secret Sauce, Insanity Check, like all the shows, Unanimous Decision. They're all there. We cover all topics. So go find those, subscribe, listen, and thank you guys very much. See you guys in a bit.